It's like, oh, there we go. Oh, I got my Christmas sweater
on. I know. It's 1st of December. Let's go.
Yeah, right? It's like, I got this from a place called Phil Keel. My wife got it for me, and I was like, all right, fine. We're going to be all month long. It's cold here, so like, screw it. Let's go. Welcome to the greatest ad in the world this week. Fraser, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited for these. I've got this advert I've got is a little bit different to what we've done in the past, so I'm excited to show it you and see what you think from a media buyer's perspective and your experience in terms of like how this style of creative performs, because it's a little bit different to the usual kind of ads that we've showcased on here before.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. And for the record, some of the ads you've shown before work really well. I have an Our Place Wonder Oven arriving at my doorstep tomorrow. So thank you.
When you texted me that, absolute pure gold. It isn't the thing is the advert, the targets of the advert didn't work because you didn't get it. It was me showing you it, and then the further targeting that they did on you for that. That's how it sold, which is just incredible. I feel like I should get part commission for that from them.
100%. You should get like 5-10 pounds. Like pounds. Yeah. Like absolutely. Like I showed it to my wife. She's like, "Oh, this is cute," and she has an Our Place pan.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Do they have it in purple?" I'm like, "Yeah, they have it in the same color as the pan." And she's like,
"Amazing, get it."
Well, our toaster, we can get rid of it. And I'm like, yeah, we can get our air fryer. And then like we literally went into the pantry and measured where it would fit, and it would fit in the pantry right below where the microwave is, so they could share the same outlet. And basically, like, we're saving space where all the baby things can go. So now I look like the magnificent husband providing for my wife and making room for the baby. And save 20% for Black Friday. So all in all,
happy days. It couldn't have landed any better. Okay, so this advert is from Huel. It's a video ad. I'm gonna play it, and I wanna know your thoughts. Okay.
All right, let's go.
What do we think?
Oh, interesting. I like it in that, like, I've been in this space. I remember when Huel came up. So like I have a personal connection with like them stealing market share from 310 Nutrition.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But it looks like it looks like I could taste it. And I also like how it's an Interrupt, and that I know the brand, and I'm so used to, like, I'm literally drinking like powder and water right now. And I would love a cup of noodles instead. So my immediate impact, like looking at this, is like, again, it looks like I could taste, like I know what this is gonna taste like. I might like, I literally just had to swallow from my
saliva. Love that.
Yeah, I got moist in the mouth from looking at it. So that's a good sign. Being so used to seeing a brand present me with a completely different version of the product is very interesting, because like when I saw it, I was like, another shake ad, and it was nothing of the sort. So
yeah,
I like it, and I know the brand.
Yeah, so I think Huel are going through a bit of a change at the moment. Obviously, we kind of all know them for the meal replacement, drinks, and I'm sure plenty of us have tried that as well. I'm not the biggest fan, I'm not going to lie. I think it tastes a bit like porridge, but I keep on seeing these now, which are these like healthier alternatives to like instant noodles, whatever. And this is the first Huel ad in a while which has actually caught my eye. And I think the reason for that is, like you said, like the pattern interrupt in the first in the first second is amazing. This 3D work is absolutely like remarkable, like amazing from like a production sense. I think it looks brilliant, and I haven't really seen anything like this before, which is why I really wanted to showcase it on this, because I think it's just a brilliant piece of like thumb stopping content. Everyone always talks about that, the thumb stop, the hook rate, all this stuff. Everyone always talks about that, and one of the main ways that you can do that is through interrupting the pattern on social. We are so used to scrolling through a white or a black feed all day long, seeing the same content over and over again. But then if you scroll down and you see this like literal like red explosion, like you are going to stop for that and you're probably going to watch it. You might watch it just for the like, damn, that looks cool. But then the effect like it had on you there, like that actually looks really nice, especially when we get down to the section where like we actually show like the noodles on the forks and like it looks like the photography here is gorgeous and I love it. I don't think it does an absolute ton in terms of selling me on the product into like I don't, like I mean I can guess what it is from it, right? And I think maybe that's all you need to know. And then I imagine the landing page will probably tell you more. But I think in terms of like actual production, stopping the scroll, like amazing work from Huel, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like, so as a performance marketer looking at this, my assumption is that this is either going to serve one of two, maybe three spots for me. Mm-hmm. First off, I'm a broad targeting guy, so like it's we all everything. I look at Facebook as basically always prospecting.
Yeah.
As business model amplification device. This is awesome in that every ad effectively makes its own lookalike audience because every Facebook ad is basically a web page, and Facebook is measuring the click-through rate, the bounce rate, the stickiness, and who the people are that like it, and then showing those people an ad. A Facebook feed and YouTube feed and Instagram feed is really just like a search result of web pages to get you to be engaged. Every one of those what I like to think of is they make like little audiences. And when we're running ads together, those audiences overlap to effectively make giant Venn diagrams. When you have a brand with an established market, and meal replacement shake being one of them, again, I was at 310 Nutrition. I've seen Huel. I've seen a lot of other brands come in. And I mean, we went to 9 figures. That Venn diagram tends to look like a giant circle. And this ad serves a great bit of bringing in something that is completely outside of that because it's not a bar. It's not a shake, right? Like it's not even like a yogurt or something like that, right? It's not like Icelandic yogurt or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is net new to the space. And I think that for one allows me to reach individuals who have already potentially made, I've tried meal replacement shakes. They taste like porridge. It's grainy. I don't want it. Now they're getting the opportunity to be introduced to the brand. So I like in that you're effectively making a new set of Venn diagrams that exist potentially outside the space. I love that. That's incremental lift at its finest.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to the audience.
I'm definitely seeing this as like you said, probably, like a retargeting advert for either, people that have potentially tried like a free trial in the past and maybe they never took up, a subscription, or like, completely I don't know. I can't really see this being a great top of the funnel ad other than like introducing like a new flavor, a new way to eat. I can't see it really piquing people's interest. I can see it more of like brand recognition. People see the Huel. I think we see like the logo almost, like straight away. Straight away, we see the Huel logo, and whether you've been on the website, whatever, you recognize that logo now. They've done enough work that they are, almost a household name. And so you see that, and I think this is a real, kind of retargeting piece of content sitting further down the funnel for people that have tried, a free trial in the past. They didn't like it, or they've tried maybe one of their bars or something, and now they're coming in, here's another product offering for you. I feel like that's where this sits. But I think just visually, it's nice to see something different from brands that pretty much always make the same creative.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And actually, like, in addition to that, something just occurred to me in that, like, the open to this, the instant meal pots is also tapping into the meal prep space.
Mhm.
in a
Yeah, I
way
think
that
so.
meal replacement shakes have been tangentially related to. But
Mhm.
like if you're hungry, you're not going to have a shake nearly in the same way as like I'm busy, I want food.
Yeah.
And this is kind of bridging sort of that like that gap between those two spots in a way where they're bringing themselves like it's almost in a grocery store. They're almost putting themselves in a different aisle. And
Yes.
there's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
value to being in multiple aisles in the store, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like yeah, so for me like I like that idea in that it is something I can see it. To be honest, I think this would be less effective as a cross sell or retargeting effort because that would be something where I would imagine email and organic social and just
Mhm.
like customer experience would help me get there. I do see it as something that you said more of a win back effort in that like
Yeah.
you've tried the meal replacement shakes before. Maybe you like them, maybe you not, but we've got something new. Check this out. You're in the lifestyle. We have your
Yeah.
information. We're now expanding our market share. So I
That's
see
what
it as
I
a
think this
win back
is.
and I see it as a discovery.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
I think this
personally
is
would not
a
deploy this. Yeah.
yeah, they've seen a, they have this gap in the market, like you said, where you have like meal, you're literally making a shake. Like uh, their kind of target market for a while with their products has been this idea that, oh, you don't have time to eat, so grab a shake. But let's be honest, how many people would rather just like cook up something that actually tastes really good?
Yeah.
Quite a lot of people, and for a while they haven't really had a product like that. So I think that, like you mentioned, this is them making that Venn diagram a little bit bigger, and bring to a whole new market of people. And I think with that, I think this is a nice piece of content to help launch that, because it's stopping the scrolls straight away. Like you can tell that's one of the main reasons why they've done this. It's this like explosion of flavors, like we're here, we're proud, like boom, and then straight away you've hooked them, and then like, oh, Huel, oh, it's not a shake. Oh, cool, let me watch it through, and then they go through and purchase. But I think this is a solid advert from like, you do see this as brands get bigger and bigger and bigger, they
Yeah.
stop relying on performance creative so much, and instead now they're focusing their efforts going very hard on brand, and that is exactly what this is to me.
I think that is exactly what this is. I think you nailed the head on it. I nailed it on the head there. Like, I love the way that you put that because, and one of the things that I love about this, and then I got one or two questions for you about it, is that it is so attention grabbing and a very much of a pattern interrupt of what you're expecting from the brand, right? Because,
Mhm.
like, let's be fair. If I'm seeing all of this stuff and it's meal replacement shake, what I don't want is like a peppery, meaty, like tasting powder. Like that sounds
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Uh, but like, so like I'm already kind of like it's playing with my emotion there, and I think that it's excellent in brand development to get us off of the initial hero product and get us into more of expanding the footprint. Like it
Mhm.
reminds me of when I was running New Balance, not the CEO, but like the ads, right? We were getting them younger. And it was
Mhm.
all about how do we take this shoe that was designed basically for mall walkers and get it
Yeah.
to be hip for young folk. And that one of the most difficult things to do in the market is change consumer behavior. But what you can do is change consumer expectation and allow them to change their behavior. And I think here they're playing in the we're not trying to get people to drink shakes if they've already said they don't like it. We're
Yeah.
trying to show them something else they might like with the brand. And I
Mhm.
think the logic to that point you already laid out. Great. I have two questions for you on this. First one is um in this is how much of a play does like the color selection really matter? Because for
Mhm.
me it seems like I don't see this palette as the background of a full color video almost
Mhm.
ever. Like I'm never seeing bright reds and oranges. Like that just feels so atypical to
Yeah.
my, at least, normal experience on the platform. I'm not seeing giant red moving
Yeah,
spicy ads.
which is fairly shocking because red is like proven as a color to, you know, to stop people, right? There's a reason why traffic lights are red, like, you know, because it, you know, it stops people. So that definitely plays into one reason. I think the main reason why it's like this is just because it's a spicy product and they want to bring, you know, they want to bring that through in the advert in terms of, you know, make your mouth water, all this stuff flying. It feels red hot. It's hot food. That also could be a thing. Whereas again, they haven't necessarily done like hot food before. It's always just been shakes. So I think there's probably a lot of like color psychology going in there in terms of like, or I could just be completely overthinking it. And it's literally a peppery product. Peppers are red. Let's go with a red and orange background, right? There's probably a complicated way to think about it with color theory, but then there's probably a much simpler idea, which is this is a peppery product, it's red, let's put that on the background. That's really going to stop people, nice and simple.
Yeah, and also that color theory, like as you're explaining that, something that has also been known forever is, and you see it all the time, is red is one of those colors that you put on a restaurant, in a restaurant, because it makes people hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of research done on, you know, on color theory and color psychology and all this different stuff. And, you know, if you are well into your performance creative, I would like look into that because it does play, you know, quite a large part, especially when it comes to like the color of, you know, like CTA buttons and stuff. If you really want to go into CRO, like, you know, there is some stuff there. But you know, don't overthink it either. At the same time, don't think, oh man, I'm gonna have to A/B test every single color of my buttons now to see which one. Like the difference that's going to make is going to be minimal. But like when it comes to like stopping the scroll, big bright primary colors are always going to stop the scroll more than a gray boring UGC video. Always.
Love that. Awesome. And then the second question I had for you, because I think that that's so valuable, because like, man, yeah, I love that. Oh, we can dive into that another time. Like I totally get it. Like that's 2 hours right there that I'd like to talk about one point in time, but we'll get there someday. The other thing is something that felt subtle, and I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was something intentional. And if it is intentional, maybe you can talk about the why and the strategy behind it. But like, the text overlay is in the brand font shape and color, which makes it not pop as much.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have a white background or an outline, right? It's not that like a meme.
Yeah.
You know, last time, and a couple of weeks ago, you're talking about how, you know, your meme pages and all of that stuff, right? Like it doesn't have that little thing that makes it pop. So it's a little bit harder to read.
Yeah, to me,
it plays on the palate.
Yeah, I'm going to be totally honest. I feel like, especially like the 22 grams of protein, 26 minutes, I have a feeling that they are afterthoughts. I feel like what's happened here is the creative have come up with this amazing video, which was probably this without any text. Okay. And then they've given it to, you know, whoever, and they've gone, I don't think this tells people enough about the product. And they've gone, oh, great. Like the creative are gritting their teeth going, I'm going to have to ruin this. And they've put on this text. And as if they were to put like a white stroke on this, it would cheapen the video to no end.
Oh, so that's such a good point. Yeah,
it would look dreadful. And their whole brand is this like, you know, off black, white, like, you know, that's their brand. And I think, and that's why I think, because to me, that is one busy shot. Like there is a lot going on there. Like, you know,
totally.
When it's moving, it's crazy. And that's what makes me feel like it's an afterthought, because I feel like they made that scroll stopper and they were like, that's great. Another department were like, we need some text on it to match this second part of the advert, which is very text based. And they were like, well, it kind of needs to fit that. Okay, fine, we'll put some text on it. I feel like that's personally what happened. I don't think this was originally meant to have that text on it.
I love that, because like what I'm hearing out of that is, if you make all the text legible, or like one of the things that I know creatives hurt, like, can you make the logo bigger? All you're doing is making the thing look worse. And
Normally, like,
in an effort to both provide more information, which maybe is necessary, maybe not. I'm not here to argue on like whether or not that's the right thing. I'm clearly not the guy to be doing that. What we do get out of it is, one, we stay on brand, and two, the text kind of disappears if you're not looking at it. It doesn't call your attention away from the gorgeous work.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I think that that's really interesting, in that we're saying, here's a whole bunch of important information. Also, you don't have to see it. It almost feels like that Spriggy ad with all the legal disclaimer stuff at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Like, it's there. We check the box, but also like the Instant Pots, like with the pepper behind it. I can't even read it. But I think psychologically I appreciate it, but I'm not sitting there reading it.
Yeah, that's what makes me feel like it was an afterthought, is because you can't even see that text. Like, you just cannot see it, right? And any designer will tell you that trying to put text on a busy background is the worst nightmare, and trying to make it stand out is not fun. But I think, like you said, I think because it's so dynamic and there's so much stuff moving, I think you kind of forget about it. And, you know, I think this is a brilliant ad, and there's a lot to learn here when it comes to, you know, stopping the scroll, color theory, you know, digitally being able to create an entire advert without ever having to shoot anything. I think there's a lot to learn here. But yeah, I think there was probably some internal arguments probably about this, that, you know,
I love
as
that.
the brand gets bigger, which is what you have basically.
Yeah, and I love that this is basically all renders. Then
it's entirely renders. Like, I'm 90% sure that this isn't real food photography. That this end image could be real, but it's retouched to high heaven, you know, so it may as well
at it, like,
be
no
a render.
fork looks like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like potentially this end shot here is a real photo, but, you know, they are very good at food photography and stuff like that. But 100%, the whole start is a render, which is you know, it's impressive. It's a great ad. It looks brilliant.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it, man. Another one. You're bringing the heat, dude. This is now I'm hungry.
Sir.
Now I want breakfast. Well done, Huel. I'm hungry. I'm trying to lose weight, and you wanted me to eat food. This is great. Oh man, awesome, dude! Thank you so much. I think this is beautiful, and again, we'll link to this ad down below, and you know, all of your stuff, dude, and I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right, see you then. Boom. There we go.